Today, we will listen to two touching stories from the past. The first story is about Yujin, a high school girl in 1970s Korea, who remembers her mother's endless love and sacrifice. The second story is about Arthur, a boy who grew up to become a wise investor, teaching the world about patience, honesty, and kindness. Both stories remind us that true wealth comes from love, wisdom, and the choices we make.
Mother's study room.
Back in the 1970s in Korea, most students from modest families studied at home. Only a few, from families who were a bit better off, could afford private study rooms. These rooms were not always quiet places to focus on lessons. Sometimes they were spots where boys and girls met, shared stories, and made friends. For Yujin, attending a study room was both exciting and daunting. She had to balance her studies with her family's limited resources.
In a small Korean town in the 1970s, there lived a girl named Yujin. Yujin's mother, Erin, ran a small restaurant and raised 4 children. Erin worked very hard from early morning until late at night every day. Yujin was the youngest daughter. She was a kind girl who understood her mother's hard work. Yujin was a first-year high school student, always quiet and studious, going straight from school to home. Yujin preferred reading alone to spending time with friends, so she often went home by herself, feeling lonely at times because she didn't have a close friend. One day, Yujin met a lively friend named Hae-suk. Hae-suk laughed a lot and told interesting stories. Yujin enjoyed being with Hae-suk. Surprisingly, Hae-suk lived near Yujin's mother's restaurant. Hae-suk said she went to a paid study room nearby to study hard. Yujin listened carefully to Hae-suk's words. Yujin worried about the cost of the study room. She felt guilty about spending her mother's hard-earned money, but she wanted to spend more time with Hae-suk, so she gathered her courage. A few days later, Yujin registered at the study room. Studying with Hae-suk was a new joy for Yujin. Thanks to Hae-suk, Yujin didn't feel lonely any longer while studying. One evening, while Yujin was studying in the study room, the door to the 3rd floor room quietly opened. Her mother, Erin, appeared, carrying a tray of dinner on her head. Yujin's face instantly flushed with embarrassment and apology. Her mother's apron, the heavy tray, and her tired steps pained Yujin's heart. Her mother gave her a warm smile. 30 years have passed. Yujin is now a mother herself, raising her own children. She often remembers her mother coming to the study room. Her mother's love, carrying the tray in her apron, felt immense. Yujin's eyes welled up with tears, thinking of the duties she never fully fulfilled as a child to her deceased mother. She knew that her mother's sacrifice and love had made her who she was today.
Are you curious what happened to Yujin after her mother appeared with the dinner tray? She decided to quit the study room soon after. Returning to her usual routine, she focused on her studies and went on to enter a respectable university, just as her parents had hoped. Now, let's turn to another story. This one begins in mid-20th century America, with a boy who loved numbers more than games. While other kids spent their coins on candy, he saved his money. This boy was Arthur, the one who would later be called the wise investor.
Young Arthur loved numbers. He counted coins, read newspapers, and always thought about money. He didn't spend much. He liked to save. When he was a boy, Arthur had his first business. He bought bottles of soda and sold them to his neighbors for a little more money. He learned that hard work could make money grow. Later, Arthur found a special book about investing. It taught him about companies and shares. He understood that buying a piece of a good company could make his money work for him. Arthur started small. He bought shares in a company he understood well. He was patient. He knew that good things take time, like a tree growing slowly.
Good things take time. He knew that success, like a tree, needed patience to grow.
Many years passed. Arthur watched his investments carefully, but he didn't worry every day. He chose strong companies that made useful things. His money slowly grew bigger and bigger. Even with more money, Arthur lived a simple life. He didn't buy fancy things. He believed in saving and using money wisely. He still loved a good book and a quiet evening. Arthur taught others his secret. Buy good companies at a fair price and hold them for a long time. He said, don't follow the crowd. Think for yourself. As Arthur grew very old, he decided to share his wealth. He gave much of his money to help people and make the world a better place. He believed in giving back. People called Arthur the wise investor. They came to him for advice, not just about money, but about life. He always said, be honest, be patient, and be kind. Arthur's story showed that true wealth is not just about money. It's about smart choices, hard work, and sharing your success. His wisdom lived on in the hearts of many.
People often asked him, why did you work so hard to earn so much money? Arthur would smile. He said it was never only about money. It was about discipline, patience, and building something step by step. Arthur believed money was like a tool. With it, you could build comfort, safety, and opportunities, not only for yourself, but also for others. That was why he wanted to grow it carefully, not waste it. Some thought Arthur lived too simply for a man so rich. He didn't mind. He said, happiness doesn't come from luxury. It comes from purpose. In the end, Arthur's greatest lesson was clear. Money itself was not the goal. The true goal was wisdom, honesty, and kindness. That was the real reason people remembered him as the wise investor. I hope today's stories touched your heart and gave you something to learn. If you have a precious memory about love or wisdom, please share it in the comments. Let's keep learning, remembering, and growing together. Subscribe for more stories.